You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome. Welcome to another, hey, we're doing some different bullshit because of COVID for the TADPOG podcast, where three old guys play old games.
While battling COVID.
Yep. This time, it's my turn.
I don't like my odds right now, I'm just saying.
Your odds are very bad. I was thinking about that today when I was like driving home from work because like someone else at work has COVID, and it's like the number of people I know personally who've had it recently has like gone way, way, way up within the last, I don't know, month.
Same.
So I was driving and I was like, Ian, buddy, watch out, man.
Yeah. No, I'm masking up now when I go out, and I'm not hanging around with anybody. I'm just being careful as I possibly can, as I have been. But you know that there's no amount of careful that, you know, prevents it from happening, as you both well know.
Yeah, because, I mean, Melissa and I, whenever, you know, COVID was in full swing, we masked and distanced, but we went to Kings Island and they went to Silver Dollar City, and, you know, we always took precautions, but no one, you know, Anna got it whenever she was exposed to her boyfriend's family that had it and said, fuck it, who gives a shit? So, and then Kenneth got it from school, but we were all fine. And then, like 10:30 Sunday night, we get a call from Jack's daycare. They're like, oh, hey, yeah, we're going to shut it down for a while because we had a COVID outbreak and the patient zero was interacting with Jack all day. So heads up. And then, you know, what the nightmare scenario that is Jack getting COVID that we worked so hard. Right. You know, he got it, but thank God, like, he handled it like a champ. He had, you know, 103-degree fever for a day or two. But as soon as we gave him ibuprofen, then he was bouncing off the walls. And, you know, he was a little sleepy, sleepier than usual, had the fever, but he's totally fine. After a few days, he was
That's awesome.
right as rain, no problem.
I was super worried.
Yeah, because it was just like...
I was too.
We're going to have to just, as soon as we hear him start coughing, we've got to make calls and figure shit out, and he never did it. You know, he never had any respiratory issues with it. So they got very fortunate. And then, of course... That's on Sunday night. Jack starts running a fever Monday. We test him on Tuesday, early Tuesday. He comes up positive. And then Wednesday, Melissa and I start running a fever. We test on Thursday. Both are negative. Melissa retests Friday, gets a positive. My test results, I went to work at the hospital, and I didn't go to work, but I went to the hospital because as an employee, I can get like the good testing.
Yeah.
So I went there, got that, came back Friday, came back negative, but the nurse practitioner was like, you living with two positive people and having the symptoms, it's probably just an early test. I would say you have it, but just be careful. Although, like, I had a low-grade fever. Fatigue has been the biggest thing. And then, like, that Thursday when we're supposed to record, like, dizzy as fuck all day. Like, it was awful. And then after that, the fever, you know, by Friday night, I was good. Then I've been fine, just tired. And then Saturday, Melissa starts running a fever again. Sunday, she loses her taste and smell.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, she thought she was over it. She was getting better, and then the fever came back. Boom. Symptoms. Now her fever's gone again. She feels good, but just no taste and smell now. So that's what it is.
When did she test positive? On Thursday?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I know, like, the quarantine guidelines and all that, and like how long symptoms last, and I know that's different for everybody. I hope she feels better soon.
Yeah.
And now she's just weirded out that she can't.
Yeah, I would be too.
Like, she had her first salad the other day because she's like, I may as well, because I can't taste it, eat some stuff I would never normally eat.
First salad.
Oh yeah,
my
like
gosh.
trying to any form of lettuce whatsoever is like a no-go. Looking at lettuce even. No. Like, so I went and bought chopped salads and made chopped salads, and she took a few bites and she was like, no thanks.
I don't know that I've ever met anyone that has like a natural aversion to lettuce.
Oh man, big time. Even if they put it on a burger, she can hardly eat the burger when she takes it off because she can still taste the lettuce residue.
That'd be a good band name, Lettuce Residue.
Lettuce residue. Maybe Link will call us at the end of this episode.
Like tomatoes, I can get. Tomatoes going to be juicier and leach out of it, but like she can tell when lettuce has been on a burger. Like,
that's funny.
So yeah, and I convinced her to try a bite of my cranberry cinnamon goat cheese, and she couldn't taste that. She took a swig of tequila and she's like, oh nope, nothing either way.
Oh wow,
damn,
wow.
I hope that passes because, and I think I've mentioned this before, that I've known people who have had the taste and smell thing, and some of them could taste some stuff but not others. And some just couldn't taste or smell anything, but it was months before that came back.
Yeah, that's what we're reading. So, and also, like, Jack crawled up into bed with us, and I was like, okay, well, let's change his diaper. And she looked at me. She's like, what? It's like, yeah. She's like, I cannot smell that. This is bad. But at least it gave me the chance. Since I was off work Thursday and Friday, I platinumed Rogue Legacy 2. I have done all there is to do in Rogue Legacy 2, and I'm done.
Congrats.
So it was, I think I had to beat it 8 times in order to get everything.
Hachi-machi.
Because once you beat it the first time all the way through, you get the bad ending, so to say. And then you can open up new alternate timelines, essentially. You'll open up new threads. So, like, the first time you beat it and you open up a new thread, you can unlock Estuary Lamech Prime. So you fight Lamech whenever he was in his full power in the war. Then you beat it the second time. Well, now you can unlock Estuary Mahal's prime form, where those 2 skeletons are on a boat and have a whole bunch of little skeletons and cannonballs are firing everywhere. And then, the third time, Estuary Nama and her full power, and then do that. Every time you beat it, you can open up a new prime estuary up until where you could do, after 7 times, you could unlock prime Trader and the final boss, and then you beat that, and you have to also you have to keep talking to all the NPCs basically until once they give you soul orbs, then they love you. So you have to get bronze in all the scars, and that way that guy loves you, and then beat the game one last time with all that, and then you unlock the last of the achievements.
Wow.
So
that sounds like a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot. I mean, I kept the game running overnight. Like if I was having a really good run, I just didn't want to just end it, so I would just pause it and go to bed. So I don't have a good account of how many hours I spent on it, but it's probably like 150 to do everything there is to do.
Wow.
That makes me curious what it is on like how long to beat. I'm like curious what the completion score is on that. gonna look that up real quick.
But I loved it. I thought it was great. 'Cause I didn't have this same, like, holy fuck, this is amazing, like I did with the first one. Because the first one was just, it's also my first roguelike, was Rogue Legacy 1. I'd never done anything like that. So I think that colors my experience with it somewhat.
Sure.
So I didn't like it quite as much, but also I couldn't put it down. I couldn't quit playing it. There were ebb and flow of me just kind of getting sick of it because I had to do so many gold runs and shit like that. But all in all, like it's a top 100 game for me.
Nice.
Yeah, the completionist time submitted on how long to beat is 120 hours.
Yeah.
So that's very
It's on
close.
par.
What did you say? You said you said over 100, right?
I bet, yeah. 150. I bet if I were to count all the times that I left it running and take that off, it was about, I probably spent 150 on it. And then my last achievement, which I had the damnedest time, where you KO an estuary. You use the boxer's talent to kill it, which is nice because you get the Street Fighter KO sound effect and screen flash and all that. I had to start a whole new thread at the lowest difficulty. And for the first time, I forgot to turn off my reciprocal damage. So they hit me 2 or 3 times and they died. So I didn't get to use it. So then I went to the next estuary. Well, the skeletons are considered a void beast. So then it's just like, it took me like 45 minutes of adjusting and restarting until I finally killed one and got that last achievement. But I think it's for anybody that likes a roguelike, it's a good experience. It's no Hades. Rogue Legacy 1 and 2 are no Hades, but great games.
Yeah.
The story, once you beat the Prime versions, you get a lot more of their memories that put the story together. But it's still kind of a weird mess. It's not really easy to piece together. Like, I need to just sit down and find where somebody else is parceled through and actually put it together cohesively and read it to understand it. But it's an interesting story. I don't like how they told it.
Yeah, I remember you saying a while back, a few episodes back, that they told more than they showed. And I kind of saw that when I was playing it too. Although honestly, I didn't think it wasn't as bad as I expected based on that, because, it was kind of like, I mean, it was cucumbersome, but I also didn't get very far into it. So I imagine that piecing things together is probably would be a pain.
What have you guys been up to?
Well, so you remember a couple of weeks ago, I got into that poison ivy, and I didn't really talk about it on the show, but I got into some poison ivy in doing some yard work, and I had never had a reaction to it before. And of course, that night I was considering not being on the show, but I went to the doctor. They said, "You're fine, just suck it up, whatever." So I was on the show and started taking medicine and all that stuff. So I learned
You guys, I have airborne poison ivy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you've all got poison ivy. Time delay poison ivy. No, I learned that fucking poison ivy is no joke, guys, because I found out, I went to my actual doctor a couple of days later and was like, I can't even with this, what's going on? And they're like, kind of the same thing. They're like, take an antihistamine and do this and do that and just do your best to not scratch. I did. It said that if you've never had a poison ivy rash before, it can take up to 21 days for it to fully go away. And that is the truth. I am just now, like as of yesterday, I've still got like rashes on my arms and legs, but they faded to like a almost invisible pink now. But holy crap. stay out of the poison ivy, everyone, because damn, I know I'm probably telling, I probably everybody else has had poison ivy at one point or another, but I haven't, and boy, I gotta tell you, it was miserable.
Do not recommend.
Do not recommend. 1 out of 5 stars. Do not recommend.
It's like the KFC on my side of town.
Exactly.
Oh God.
The KFC / Taco Bell.
That's right.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't accept mobile orders
Oh,
on
yeah.
the app. And it's
You
like,
had to I remember
like,
that.
come on.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Oh, man. So can you identify poison ivy now?
Sadly, no. I mean, I kind of know what the leaves look like, and I don't know that it was poison ivy. It could have been poison oak.
Right.
It could have been poison
oak.
sumac. I don't know, but I know that the leaves back there that grow on those vines I pulled down off my fence, I ain't touching them ever again. Not without being covered up, because and what was fucked up
gloves.
about it was, I used gloves, thank God. If I hadn't, my hands would have broken out too. But
exploded.
Yeah. The first one, the picture, Dave just put a picture in our chat. The first one is probably it. So yeah, I mean that's
leaves a 3.
Leaves a 3. Let it be, right? And it was mixed in with other stuff. I know it was. But what I was going to say though was, the first time when I pulled it all down off the fence, I mean, I had this pile of vines and sticks and leaves and stuff that was almost up to my chest. Just there was so much, we had let it go for so long, and I had pulled it off and set it up in the alley next to my house, or next to my garage where my office is, and I called the city to come pick it up, and they were like, well, we don't pick up yard debris in alleyways anymore. You have to take it out to the street. So I was like, all right, fine. Well, that whole week, the week I had actually taken it down off, I didn't have any problems. I never got a reaction to it. But when I moved it from the alley to the street, it was a couple of days after that I broke out, and that stuff had been sitting out there for like a week. It had gotten rained on. It had dried out a little bit, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it was just really surprising to me. I mean, I had a blister on my wrist the size of an orange slice.
Yeah.
And it just surprised me so much that it's one of those things you just don't know until you've actually had to go through it. And I'm fine. I'm not like, trying to make a bigger deal out of it than it is, but I was just unbelievably shocked at how bad that was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember seeing it, man. I remember seeing on your wrist. I mean, how swollen it was. I was surprised to see it. My mom gets poison ivy. She has a bad reaction to poison ivy, like real bad reactions. She can I don't know. She says that this is the case, but she'll get it and not even realize that she's been around it. So and I know she's really careful. So she'll just have an outbreak of poison ivy, like a rash, and it's like, oh, I guess there's some hidden poison ivy nearby that you didn't know about.
She's the poison ivy divining rod.
Yeah, she gets it really bad. She's real sensitive to poison ivy.
Well, you just go with my old saying, leaves of all of them, let them be. And just
yeah.
You just don't touch any leaves ever. Just stay inside and you'll be fine.
Taps
strict no leaf policy.
Tyler taps the side of his head. You can't get poison ivy if you don't go around leaves.
Yep.
That's true.
There's something I'm allergic to, and I do not know what it is, but it blooms in late summer, early fall. And it wrecks my sinuses. And it used to bloom, whatever it is, it bloomed a lot outside Brennan of Axley fame's house. So I remember anytime I would go over to his house in that time of the year, I would go home fucked.
Damn.
But I also didn't mind, because when I would get home, I would be sneezing and red and just completely wrecked. And my dad wouldn't give me shit about staying up, so I got to stay up late at night, just at a price, and then say, okay, I'll pay this every now and then. Girls Gone Wild advertisements and Howard Stern. Okay, yeah, this is a good trade-off.
What was your bedtime?
Oh God, 9:30. Basically, whenever he decided to go to bed, that's when everybody else had to go to bed.
That's how houses are run.
Oh yeah, because they're just like, yep, I'm going to bed. Everybody else go to bed because I'll hear you and I won't be able to sleep. So everyone sleeps at the same time.
I had a buddy whose house was similar, but not like nobody was like required to go to bed. But the thing was, I always thought it was so strange because like I would come over to his house like right after school on a Friday when I was spending the night. And we would eat, his dad would come home, around 5 or whatever. And we would eat dinner, probably be done by 5:30, 6 o'clock, depending on when we got started. And then he would go to bed. And it was like bright ass daylight outside. And he would be in bed and he would not come out of that room until the next morning. And so maybe he just liked his alone time. I don't know. His wife would stay up and she would let us watch movies that we shouldn't be watching, like rated R movies on HBO, because she just straight up did not give a fuck. But so we always had a good time over there. But I just thought it bared noting that I had a friend whose dad was in bed by, 6 o'clock every night.
That's about how my dad is now, because he likes to get up at 4 and get his day going. He's going to have a double knee replacement because he's so active. He's worn him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, like they were like, oh, you're bone on bone. Dad was like, yeah, I thought it was hurting. Like, yep, we're going to have to do this. Can we do it when it's winter? Because I won't want to go outside as much. So he's just getting knee injections until winter, and they're going to start replacing his knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would also... he loved to take a nap in the middle of the day on the living room couch. So in the middle of the day when everyone's doing their own thing, nope, everybody shut the fuck up so I can nap on the couch in the middle of everybody. And if I can't nap, I'm going to get real mad about it.
I pay the bills here. You're going to shut up and let me take a nap.
Yeah, that's a power play.
For sure.
Oh, my dad and his tidy whities storming around like Malcolm's dad, yelling at people about being too loud. Yeah, that's my childhood.
I mean, I can't talk a whole lot because I am often like, you need to go to your room and watch that because there are people out here trying to do stuff and we don't all want to hear somebody playing Minecraft yelling, clipping their microphone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go watch it in your room or put headphones on because it's driving everybody crazy.
So it was much nicer whenever I got a TV in my room. Granted, it didn't have any sort of cable or anything hooked up to it, but at least I could play Super Nintendo in there in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Because when I first got the PlayStation, I remember whatever year it was, 96, 97, I got the PlayStation and Final Fantasy VII. Well, the only TV we had that could work with it was the living room TV. So I got to play it for about an hour on Christmas, and Dad was like, oh, I'm ready to watch TV. Nope, take it away. It's like, well, I learned to do something different with this.
Dad, I'd just like to remind you that you made a significant investment in this device, and by telling me to turn it off, you're not getting your money's worth.
Yep.
Oh, it's the same thing like the computer being in the living room, and then me playing Diablo, and my dad would go nuts over the mouse clicks. Oh, he gets so mad, and then my mom would defend me. At least he's not doing drugs.
I mean, he is fighting the devil.
You would probably be quieter if you were doing drugs.
Yeah. He's really quiet. At least he's doing drugs.
At least, yeah. Thank God he's doing drugs.
No more mouse clicks. Finally.
No more clicks.
Went and saw the new Jurassic World movie.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was a lot. I think they were trying.
Like,
it was good.
Of fun,
it was fun.
or
It
of
was
money?
It was a good. It was a good movie in the sense that it was fun, but it was very long, and they tried to shoehorn a whole bunch into this because it's supposedly going to be the last one, you know. And they brought the original three back: Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Sam Neill. And I bet Sam Neill had maybe 5 words of dialogue in the whole movie. Like, he hardly spoke, which was odd. And then Laura Dern there were some cringy moments, but I'd have to say the cringiest is having heard when they all meet up, she's talking to Jeff Goldblum, Ian Malcolm, and Sam Neill comes up and he's like, "Have you two been talking? How's that?" And she goes, "Oh, he slid into my DMs."
Yeah.
And I was like,
old people saying,
not working.
Not new stuff.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Fellow kids.
Well, yeah. What's cringier about it? The fact that she's saying it, or that, like, that is something that you said 12 years ago?
Right. Yeah.
When millennials can cringe, then it's pretty bad.
Yeah. But all in all, it was fine. I won't say it was, the best of the series by any means. But it was nice to see it on the big screen. It had the nice effect of being loud and scary and all that good stuff. So,
Did anybody defeat a raptor in combat through an Olympic sport in this one?
No, there was no raptor
Okay.
fighting
Bummer.
gymnastics in this one.
Yeah, I gotta draw the line right there.
Now,
Not
why'd they
going.
kick you off the gymnastics team? It's like, no. Nope, don't do that. Don't you do it.
I think last week I went to go, week before this week, Melissa and I went to see Top Gun.
So good.
We enjoyed that. It was very 80s, had some 80s, plenty of 80s cheese laid on top of it.
Oh, well, it has to, though.
It has to. That's what it's about. So she and I enjoyed it. It was good. It was a good movie. A little harder to enjoy it, like knowing what a piece of shit Tom Cruise is. But and then I read a review somebody had written on Twitter about it, which, I mean, it was a super, super negative review about how it's war-mongering, propagandist, U.S. imperialism bullshit. And it absolutely is. But it was still an enjoyable movie, despite Tom Cruise, and that it's jerking off to the American military complex.
I could see that, but I didn't care. I loved it. And, I saw it when I was a kid in 1986. I saw it and loved it. So, yeah, I ate it straight up. But I could see how it would be that way for some.
Yeah, 'cause it's like, the best thing you could do in the military? Disobey your orders and go commit war crimes. But no one plays an asshole today like John Hamm.
For sure.
Dave, how about you?
I haven't seen it yet.
Well,
I don't know that I don't know. No. I've just been the last week. I've just been thinking about not seeing Maverick.
It's pretty good.
That's all I've been up to. I went to Carbondale with Nikki and Henry and Tadpog Sweethearts, Josh and Nicole. We went out there 2 Sundays ago, and we went to the Dungeons and Dragons park out there. Are you familiar with that?
I am not.
No.
Yeah, there's a park out there that is like so there was this kid named Jeremy Rockman who lived in Carbondale and or in the area, and he died in a car wreck. And this was probably, I don't know, 20 years ago, or maybe 30 years ago. But his dad was like, he bought the land, like uh, like 3 acres, I think it is, like across from his house, and then like built a memorial park for his son. And Jeremy played D&D, so he made it a D&D park, and they've got like this wooden and stone castle that is very large, but it's like made for kids to crawl around in. So they've got like all these like bridges, and they've got like these like corridors that are real small, and they've got like gargoyles like perched on like the edges of the castle. And it's I mean, it's pretty neat. It's definitely more kid oriented, but it's, I mean, I was impressed to see like what all that they had there. It's a whole bunch. Like that castle is a whole bunch. And then they've got like so like they took some of Jeremy's figures, his miniatures, and made like large statues out of the miniatures. Like some art students from SIU did like these. So like they're like these giant dragons and stuff that are out there, and like a griffin. And
Man, that's
it's
badass,
pretty
though.
it's pretty neat. It honestly is pretty neat. I mean, it's not like super fancy or anything, but I mean, like, considering that it's like one person, you know, paid to have this memorial park made, it's very, very cool. I mean, like, I don't want anybody to drive out there and be like, this isn't Disney World. It's not Disney World, but like, but it is pretty neat.
That's awesome.
No, I need to take Kenna and Jack to that.
Yeah, they'd probably enjoy it. It's a little bit of a drive, just for that. So like we went to, there's this cafe that was really good called Gressa's Cafe, where like we got omelets, and it's like, man, I love an omelet.
What's your
I don't know
favorite
about
omelet?
you guys. Denver omelet for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, like a Denver omelet. What about you guys?
I don't know much about omelets, but as long as it's got like a lot of cheese in it, I'm good.
Yeah,
I can get down on a Western omelet.
yeah. I had a streak of omelets. I've got a two Sunday streak of omelets because Nikki made omelets for Father's Day. She was like, "What do you want for breakfast?" I was like, "I think I want an omelet, but I want some fresh jalapenos in there this time instead of green peppers."
I do. I like
And then we went.
I like hash browns in
Go
an
ahead.
omelet.
Yeah, I like hash brown. I usually like hash browns on the side with an omelet, but I could see mixing them together. And it's weird because it's like, I don't know, like when I go to Waffle House, it's like my omelet and my hash browns are like the same essentially. Where it's like, okay, cheese on both of these, jalapenos on both of these.
Let's mix it all together. Fuck it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just I'm just one step away from mixing it all together.
And I do like all that
And then
more at Waffle House than I do at IHOP. I know IHOP has the big glorious omelets, but I don't like them there that much.
No, same. Whenever I go to IHOP, I usually get like a burger. I usually don't like to get breakfast at IHOP. But Waffle House, on the other hand, is like, hell, man, hook me up, because all that's so greasy and like, I don't know. I feel like it's not as greasy at IHOP, which you'd think would be a selling point, but to me, it's not. I want like some greasy hash browns. And, yeah.
IHOP has a good one of their omelets they have I really like. It's this one. It's got like spinach and cheese and I think bacon, and then they put like hollandaise sauce on top of it, and it's really good.
All right.
Yeah, I'd fuck with that. I like spinach. I like spinach and things.
Yeah, and it's not like Popeye spinach. It's like
do that.
leafy spinach.
It doesn't make you strong. It makes you weaker. Then we went to Castle Perilous after that, which is like a gaming store in Carbondale, and it's pretty neat. It's kind of one of those places where it's like, I don't know, I hate to be like this, but it's like going through and looking at everything, and it's like, this is pretty expensive. I wonder how much it is on eBay or Amazon.
Yeah.
Because like they had a few of the Scott Pilgrim color, like the books that they re-released in color. And I was like, oh man. And I don't know if that was a limited release or not. It might have been, but like, because I looked they had the MSRP on there, and it's like they're asking for double this. So I'm assuming it's out of print.
Damn.
But anyway, it was still fun to go and visit. And like, Henry got like his first set of dice, and he got a dice bag, and he asked for it, which I thought was like, okay. I mean, I don't know why you want it, but sure, let's get it. I mean, I know why you want it. Dice, I mean, it's fun.
Yeah. Even Melissa like doesn't actively play D&D right now, but fucking loves the shit out of dice.
Yeah, dice are just great, and it's like it's hard to not buy dice because I mean, he was like, I want this set and this set and this set. It's like, hold up, pick one set, because these are expensive. You would think they wouldn't be, son, but
they shouldn't be.
but for some reason they are everywhere. So he got his first set of dice, and I was tempted, like when we got back home, to be like, so do you want to roll up a character? But I'm gonna save that, I think, because he was asking like when he bought it, I was like, yeah, that's the kind of dice that I use like when I go over to Tyler's and we record and when we're playing a game. And he's like, oh yeah, and he's kind of like asking questions about that. So
cool.
And then I watched Norm Macdonald's Netflix special.
Oh, I need to do that.
Yeah, me too.
Nothing special. It's good. It's weird because like, you know, the context of him doing the special is very much like he knows why he's doing it, and he's not doing it for an audience. Like he's just recording himself at his computer essentially. So it's very odd to not have like that audience feedback. But I thought it was really good. I thought it was funny. And then like after the special, like after his performance, there's like 30 minutes with David Letterman, Dave Chappelle, Molly Shannon, David Spade, Adam Sandler, and Conan O'Brien, like discussing and critiquing it, which I thought was really, really cool. Cause it's like, I mean, they had really good things to say about Norm, obviously, but like, it was like a critique, like it really was. And I thought that was really neat. And like that would be something that I would definitely watch, like as a series, where it's like, if they had like, you know, just a show about comedians critiquing like other comedians' sets. And like, I understand that it's probably easy to do that. Well, I would assume it'd be easier to do that with somebody who you were friends with. And that you knew very well. And so I don't know. I thought it was very, very cool. Definitely worth watching. That one's on Netflix.
No, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, big recommend for sure. I also watched the George Carlin's American Dream HBO documentary, docuseries by Judd Apatow. That was really good.
Cool.
That's like a 4 hour deal, but like totally worth it. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is out.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Blake was telling me about that. He and his son beat it.
Nice.
Is that one on the Switch
on
as well?
Friday. Yeah, it's on Switch. It's on PlayStation, Xbox, PC.
I'm gonna have to pick that up.
Commodore 64. It's good. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. We went through it you can have up to 6 people multiplayer simultaneously.
Wow.
We did that on Friday. I played with Nate, Zal, Grim, Matt, and Kana, and we beat it that night. 6 people is crazy. It's like just it's total chaos. But it's like a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You can play as all 4 turtles, obviously. April O'Neil, Splinter, and then you can unlock Casey Jones. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like $25, which I think is good price for it, honestly. Like, it's not very long, but it's fun to play with other people. And we didn't have any major network issues when we were playing it, which is why I didn't get on the Switch. I got it on Steam because I was worried about the, the Switch online play. But I have definitely run into some problems jumping into games with like randos with like network connections and stuff.
I'm sure, yeah.
And then I checked out Fightcade. I don't know if have you guys heard of Fightcade before?
No.
It's this it's like this, it's weird. It's tough to explain, but it's like you can play games with like classic retro games with other people online. And you have to like supply your own legally obtained ROMs, but I went through, Nate and I played Alien versus Predator, and Grim and I played The Simpsons, both arcade games. And I mean, it was amazing. Like it's got, the netcode is amazing. It's got rollback, and it was fantastic. Big recommend for that. They do have SNES games on there too. Cause like what it is, it's like a collection of emulators essentially. And then you just like, they have different channels set up for different games. So like essentially they have lobbies where it's like you load up Fightcade, and if you want to play a game with somebody, you both need to be in that game's channel. And so what happens, what can happen is if it's a popular game, you kind of get into like, cause like when we were playing, like we popped into like Street Fighter 3, and there were like 80 people in there, and it's just 80 people talking to one another and like playing each other and spectating different matches and stuff. It seemed very neat. It also seemed very like, this is where the people who are very, very into this hang out. Like this is essentially, like where the scene is kind of deal, which is cool. But not a place where I would go and play Street Fighter,
Yeah.
But like, even for just like, I don't know, like even for just like casual stuff, like, I mean, if you and a friend like want to hop in and throw up, Alien versus Predator and play through it, you can do it. And it's pretty seamless. It's good. I recommend it.
Cool.
I'll check that out. Well, you guys going to get to take it old school with what we used to do 2 months ago?
Wait, you mean we're going to talk about a video game, an old video
game drawn from the randomizer?
Wow.
Not since Wing Commander have we done this.
Yep. So
you guys remember Wing Commander?
Wow, so good.
It's back
in POG form.
What?
I think that was like 3 months ago.
Oh God, I think you're right. So last time we talked about it, I think it was on Wing Commander. The next time we did it, I think we drew Tecmo Super Bowl 2, and we just decided to go ahead and do the whole of the Super Nintendo series. So Tecmo Super Bowl 2 and 3.
And 1.
And 1.
And 1. Well, 1 is for the NES, right?
Tecmo Super Bowl,
and
Tecmo Super Bowl 2, and Tecmo Super Bowl 3. There are 3 total.
Yeah.
For the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. But it does get confusing because
because I only played 2 and 3. I didn't know there was a 1. I just saw that was for the NES.
It gets confusing because Tecmo Super Bowl was on the NES. And then 2 years later, they made Tecmo Super Bowl for the SNES. So you guys want to take a break? Come back? 2-second segment?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
All right. That sounds good.
All right, so you want to break down the Tecmo Bowls?
Yes, please. God, I can't wait.
My body's ready.
I say that like, I don't know, super shitty, but I don't know.
I'll say it's super shitty.
What'd you say?
I'll say it's super shitty. That's fine.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not, I mean, I'll wait until we start talking about the quality of these games. But yeah, the randomizer selected Tecmo Super Bowl 2 Special Edition, which, as far as I know, there is no just regular Tecmo Super Bowl 2.
No, there's not.
Yeah. And it's just special. It's just special edition. It's just the subtitle for it. And then like the third one has a subtitle as well. I think it's like the final challenge or something like that. That's wrong, but it's it says final in it. I think.
Just final. I think
final edition,
final version, or
final edition.
Yeah, final edition maybe.
I think that's it.
Yeah, it is. It's final edition.
Got it in one. So yeah, we discovered that there are in fact 3 Tecmo Super Bowl games for the SNES, like we mentioned earlier. And I think it's a good idea to just go ahead and knock all 3 of those out right now because they're all so similar to one another.
The only difference is the intros.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, like with 2 and 3, I would say that's 2 and 3. I think are way more similar, at least in presentation, than 1 is. So like, so the first game came out in 1993. Which was 2 years after Tecmo Super Bowl came out for the NES. So that's kind of important because they were using the current rosters for when the game came out. So even though the game played similarly to Super Tecmo Bowl or Tecmo Super Bowl on NES, it had different rosters. So no Bo Jackson essentially is that's my big point.
So the selling point is gone.
Well, I mean, potentially. So it came out 6 years after it came out in arcades. So like my point here is that this is kind of like an old school football game that kind of wound up that they made 16-bit versions of, and they, were updating the rosters. And now they have the official NFL license and the NFL Players Association license. So they've got all that going on for it, which I was impressed, honestly.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what they did in the NES version, but when I fired it up, I was like, oh wow, this is way more legit than I thought it was going to be. They added weather conditions from the NES version, or I should say since the NES version. And then so after 93, Tecmo Super Bowl 2 came out in 94, and then Tecmo Super Bowl 3 came out in 95.
Was this like the first series to have everything for the teams on the roster?
I think Madden came out around the same time.
Okay.
It
was definitely the start of that era. Yeah, it was. I feel like it was the start of that era. Now, I don't know if a game did it prior. I mean, that's possible as well. I mean, obviously, Bo Jackson was in Tecmo Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't honestly. I'm going to shut up because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
still,
it was nice to have it. Again, we've talked about before playing football games where they've faked team names and not been able to get the licenses for the real teams and stuff. And for me, it's about authenticity, and I really dig that all the teams from that year were there and they were officially licensed with the real players and the real teams. That for if I'm a football guy, a football game guy, I should say a football video game guy, that would be important to me. And it made it more appealing to me as a not generally football video game player, so it was nice that was there.
I think it was nice too. And normally, honestly, I kind of like it when it's silly and kooky and like they don't have like they don't have all that stuff. But I think because it was Tecmo, it felt like they were really going for it.
Yeah.
Like it felt like, and I liked that. I appreciated that because I mean, I don't know. I Tecmo easily could have just been like, well, we're just going to do, our own thing. And they could have not taken it seriously. But I do feel like they were taking it seriously. And I think that's nice.
Definitely.
Well, since it's been so long, I had to go back into old texts and messages where we, discuss the new format and find like, what does that format look like anyway? So,
do you have it? I've got it.
I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, I do.
Okay.
So
okay.
What movies?
Archives.
What movies or celebrities would you say remind you of these games?
Well, hang on though, because I think usually what we would do is say, what's our first impression based on the box art?
On the cover art? Okay.
I've got a couple of notes on that. Just again, for the first one, it's it's right out of the gate. It's licensed by the NFL. It's legit. There's a photograph of a Dallas Cowboys player on the cover. They're making sure you understand. We got all the licensing for this. The second one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you're talking about the Dallas, like the Dallas football player. What I thought was weird is that is an illustration of the defensive line, isn't it?
No, that's on the box art of the first one. The second one is the box art that has the illustration of the offensive line ready to snap the ball, which is weird to me. Like they went from the first box having the picture of, the football player, like a photograph. The second one was an illustration, and so was the third one. Only this time on the third one, you've got an LA Raider or Oakland Raider. I can't remember where the Raiders were in '93, but getting tackled, and it's a lot more aggressive, a lot more, we do action.
Yeah, I really, you're right. I'm looking at the covers now. I had the covers for the first and second one mixed up. I guess it's because they both feature the Dallas Cowboys. But like, I thought it was really weird. I thought the cover for Super Bowl II was really, really weird because he's about ready to snap the ball. And so I was like, why are they doing this? Like, why are they showing us this? I was like, is number 50? Like, is he like famous? And I just don't know because I'm not like a football guy.
I don't know, or if that's just a random number or something.
Well, I did research because I was like, I got to know. I'm about to do a very professional podcast, and I need to report on this. So I was like, who is number 50 in 1994? And so I looked it up. I was like, who is this robotic looking white man on the cover of this video game that's so prominently displayed? And it looks like a folksy, like if there was like a log cabin with a football theme, like this would be hanging above the toilet. Like this would be framed hanging above the toilet. That's like the art style here.
Rob Ottman.
Rob Ottman.
Robot Man.
Rob Ottnick. So I looked it up and I was like, I found out that this is Derek Brownlow. And I was like, okay, Derek Brownlow. Is he famous? It's like, no, he's not famous, but he is a black football player. And this entire line, everybody in this art is just
really white.
Like, white as freshly fallen snow. So I was like, nope, they just made two weird decisions.
Yeah.
They just decided
they all look like Death from Bill and Ted. They're as white as you can be. Yeah, so I figured, oh, hey, maybe they'll have the real names and everything. That's cool. Other than that, dry ass football simulation, something I'm not going to understand and therefore not enjoy.
I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah, I did.
I
too.
thought it was a good game. I love the controls, as simple as they were. I felt like there was a graphical change in the second one from the first.
Yeah, for sure.
That like it almost got muddy. Like I liked the first one better.
Yeah. But the first one's wild, dude, because it's like it's so bright.
Yeah.
It is very much like the first one looks like we took a Nintendo game and then we just put it on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really.
Yeah,
That
it
is like,
does.
it has those vibes. It has the same vibes as like Phantasy Star 2, where it's like, we made an 8-bit game and then just put it on a 16-bit system. Like, that's like, it feels like that.
It'll
Because,
look a little like
the field is,
foosball.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it does.
Well, and
like,
I think the reasoning behind that, first and foremost, was that Tecmo Bowl for the NES is one of those football games that anybody that loves football games on those systems will tell you is one of the best football games ever, because you could just sit down and play, and it it was no like frills. It's a good solid football game, and I think they were just trying to translate that into the first one. But when they go to the second one, I was like, this is almost not as interesting looking to me for some reason. I think they went a little too far.
Because they tried to make it look a little more realistic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got used to it, but it was jarring. It was jarring to go from 1 to 2, because it did go from like bright colors to, like a more like stippled, realistic looking style. And I think that's probably I think that was a bad decision. I agree with you, because it's like, why you're already making a different football game. Like I really like the viewpoint in Tecmo Bowl. I really like the fact that the camera is so far back.
No, that was
from you're like, you can see 35 yards of the field at any given time.
Yes.
And it's like, that's really nice.
They zoomed
I like
in
that the
too
camera's
far.
not like, well, and I like that the camera's not like behind the players or anything like that. Like the perspective is totally different than it is in Madden. And I think that's one of the things that really set it apart, that it set Tecmo Bowl apart. So it kind of is a shame to see in the second game them kind of go to a more realistic color palette, because like it feels like they are kind of going in with the Madden trend there, where I think maybe it would have been better if they would have separated themselves a little bit more.
I agree. And I think they sort of caught themselves a little bit on that, and because Super Bowl 3 to me looked and felt a little bit more like the first one. I think they backed off that, really extreme detail that they were trying to get in the second one. And they were like, let's bring it back ground ourselves a little bit more here and say, what was good about the first one, what was good about the second one, and let's make that happen in the third one. And I do think they succeeded at that. Because out of the three, that the third game, the final edition, was my favorite.
Really? It was my second favorite. I loved the first one, because like I was delighted when I turned on the first Tecmo Super Bowl for SNES, and it was like, oh, they just put the NES game on the Super Nintendo. Like that was like such a treat.
Yeah.
Like I was so pleased. But it's also weird, because it's like Tecmo Bowl, this is an old school football game.
Yes, it is.
And it feels like it, because like it is all based on a 1987 arcade game versus, Madden, the big bad new contender that is just built fresh from scratch, like with John Madden.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of one of those where it's like, it feels old school. It feels like an old game. And I think it looking the way that it looks, probably hurt it more than it helped it.
Well, I did very much enjoy the first and the third one, but the third just sort of was like, for me, it was like, I think they were conscious of maybe how they could have improved upon what they tried to improve upon in the second one, and I think they got it right. And I think, you know, you mentioned the perspective, you know, in the second one, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there was as much field visible. I think they had zoomed in a little bit more, because the sprites looked bigger to me, and that may have just been because I was playing them all at once and I was, you know, maybe not paying as much attention as I should. But I felt like in the third one they had kind of brought that viewpoint back out to the wider angle, like you said, because I'm with you. For me, the perspective above the field is always easier to enjoy the game, because even though playing it like in a Madden scenario is more realistic, and puts you more in the game, as they say at EA,
Right.
It's more confusing. I like being able to see my receivers and all at once, you know, and be able to select through them and say, and you can see it from a first person, but again, it puts that quarterback challenge on the player to be having to make those split second decisions as to who to throw it to, but from a first person perspective, which has always been difficult for me, but I've never wanted to be a quarterback. So I like that over the head view that you mentioned. And plus, playing it like that, playing in the overhead view that Tecmo Bowl has, to me is more familiar, because that's like the majority of the way the game looks when you watch it on TV. You know,
yeah, especially at that time. And again, I think that kind of like reinforces that, like, this series, the Tecmo Bowl series on the Super Nintendo, to me, and I don't mean this in a bad way, feels like a dad's football game.
Oh yeah.
While
for sure.
like Madden feels like the kid's football game. Like, I mean, that I feel like there's like these generationally feel like different, you know?
I agree.
And I think that's good.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's good, because like, how many Madden clones have we played? A lot, and they're not good. So I think that went into a lot of why I actually enjoyed playing these games, is because it felt like a Nintendo game. It felt like an NES game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that was not good if you were a kid with a Super Nintendo and you wanted something new and fresh. But to me, I don't know, man, I liked it.
I did too.
It felt good.
I did too.
I thought 2 and 3 looked furry. Like,
They definitely
trying to be
did.
realistic. Everything just looks a little furry. And I thought it was off-putting.
That's kind of where I was coming from when I said muddy, because they were trying to go for the texture of the grass, which of course dominates the screen. You know, that weird looking, we're trying to make this look like grass. And of course that's the thing that's the most prominent on the screen, because it's the field. And yeah, you're right. Fuzzy is a good word for that one.
But I guess I should also say that anytime I picked up and tried to play 2, I got crushed immediately, couldn't get a yard to save my life. 3, I actually was able to fumble my way around and score a few touchdowns and had a little more fun with 3. But all in all, I felt, which, I mean, as coming as a guy who knows nothing about football, I felt like this controller layout to pick everything was the most confusing I've played to date. Like, I had no clue at any time what I was doing.
It's funny that you say that, because I found myself actually understanding it really well as opposed to other games. And I actually played through 2 or 3 games per version, and they were just preseason. I didn't go through the regular season and all that stuff, but I found myself winning and scoring touchdowns and doing things that I almost never get to do in other games, because I didn't understand the controls or what the plays meant or whatever. And this one, I had the opposite. I had no trouble with that, and I actually found it rather pleasant.
See, I'm just wondering if it wasn't my emulator then, because it was just like when I was actually like, I get the ball and I have the player, I'm running around, no problem. But when I'm on the menus, like man, I struggled to even know what I was picking. Like I had a huge issues.
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely. The UI in the second one is atrocious because it's like I thought you were talking about when you're choosing plays, but yeah, dude, when you're trying to start the game, like you have 9 silver boxes. And it's like one of those silver boxes has the logo in it. And it's like the rest of them are menu options. And it's like impossible to tell what you're choosing. Mm-hmm. It's impossible to tell. They didn't differentiate what is a button. Like everything looks the same. You don't know what is a button and what is not a button. It's the presentation in 2 is horrible. It's the worst. And it's like I played as the Saints in pregame and season games for like each 3 of these. And like they do a horrible job of like if you're because the Saints logo is black, it just black says Saints. And it's like, you know, they would be like the game would be starting or it would be like time out or halftime or something. And they would be showing the logo on like a black screen. And it's like, you can't see who's playing the damn game. You got like, what are you doing? Like the presentation was just like, they were not thinking about presentation at all in that regard. Well, and it kind of reminds me a little bit about like the presentation on the boxes, like the box art is like, what the hell are you doing? Like
the thing for me was in the first game, you know, you got to choose from one playbook. You had a set of passing plays and you had a set of running plays, and then for defense you had the same plays. You just have to pick the play you think the other team is going to choose, and if you pick the right defense for that. But on the second one, when you go in to select the plays, they put you in this menu, and now you've got playbook 1 and playbook 2, and inside playbook 1 you've got a whole bunch of different plays, and then there's playbook 2. I thought that was kind of off-putting. I liked how simple the first one was, as far as, you know, here's your basic passing plays, here's your basic run plays, and here's your basic defenses and your kickoff plays, you know, whether you're going to fake a kick or do a field goal or a punt or whatever. And then they carried that same kind of wonky menu system into the third one, which I thought was kind of a strike against that one. But
they probably felt like they needed to expand the playbook. And it's like, I like the system that they've got where it's like, you know, you press the D-pad in a certain direction combined with a button,
one
A
of the
or
buttons,
B,
and that,
so you can choose the play, and the other, you know, your opponent, if you're playing a real live game, doesn't know
which play you selected, which is actually a really cool. That is a very cool feature if you're playing side by side with someone.
Yeah. So I think that might be why they did it, although it is confusing with 2 playbooks for sure. And like you feel like I feel like they could almost have done it where it's like it's all consolidated into one playbook, but like maybe you hold down the R or L button to like, you know, differentiate it further.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we've got to hit on our 3 good things and 3 bad things. We don't like how it looks furry. Some of the menus are confusing. But good movement. The players and teams being there. Dave, you called it earlier. The intro on 3 is pretty amazing.
I mentioned in our discussion that it looked like an opening to a John Carpenter futuristic robot movie.
It reminded me of Mega Man X2, like all the weird wireframes and stats and.
It's wild, man, and the music is just like, am I about to play an RPG? Like it is wild. It's just like they were like, they're like, we got to, like, I don't know, guys, we got to do something different.
Well, do you want to do the movie or actor thing?
Yeah. What movies or celebrities remind you of this game?
All right. I'll start with that one. And I've got to say, of course, I did go with football movies again, like I did with all the other football games we've played. But for me, in a lot of cases, some of the best football movies don't have much football in them. And I got to say, as far as like the first the first Tecmo Super Bowl makes me think of one of the best football movies ever, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. I feel like it was clean, easy to understand.
Laces out.
Yeah, exciting, satisfying, amusing, all that good stuff. The second one reminds me of Any Given Sunday, starring Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz. I felt like it was kind of cluttered and confusing and over the top when it really didn't need to be, kind of referring to the graphics being what they were and just sort of, a little bit too much. And then for the third game, Tecmo Super Bowl III Final Edition, I chose a really good football movie starring Kevin Costner called Draft Day. It's just about this guy who's about to go to the draft to pick new players for his team, and he's trying to barter with the other teams and get deals to get first pick and all this stuff. But it was very visually appealing. It was very easy to understand. It was also fun and satisfying. So that's where those are the three movies that kind of line up with those games for me.
I can see that. I like that. I'll make sure I link those in the show notes. Dave?
I didn't choose a movie. I chose a celebrity, and I'm impressed, Ian, that you did one for each of the three games. In the series, I took the easy way out and only chose one. I chose Ice-T.
Oh, nice.
Why Ice-T? I'll tell you why Ice-T. First, Ice-T's first studio album, Rhyme Pays, came out in 1987. And that's the year that Tecmo Bowl came out in arcades in 1987. Second, Ice-T is on Law & Order SVU.
Yes, he is.
And that's a show that my brain constantly transcribes as Law & Order SUV. That's not the name of the show.
Special Victim.
You mean to tell me?
We watch a lot of that show
at
our house, actually.
So that's just like how my brain wants to flip Super Tecmo Bowl to Tecmo Super Bowl every single time. I think I've already done that probably twice in this episode. And third, I've been listening to a lot of John Mulaney's stand-up recently, so Ice-T is on top of my mind right now. And yes, I do mean to tell you. Tyler, how about you?
For me, I'm going to pick like Sports Center, like a talking head show, but only when they have former players on as commentators. So take a football player that's not Deion Sanders, put him in a suit, bring him on to Sports Center, and they're just bland and personalityless. And that's what I felt like these games kind of were. I didn't get a lot of personality from them, which I get as a simulation. Okay, it's feel like technically, strategically, they were on point, but it was just a football game. So I didn't really feel like I got anything fun out of it, especially when they went from 1 to 2 and kind of toned down and went for the Madden realism.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't think of any other football players that I think are bursting with personality that are fun to listen to. Basketball, at least on basketball, you've got Shaq and Charles Barkley, but football, I don't know.
How is this game like Corey Feldman, guys?
Oh, God, I forgot to think about that. I don't know.
Well, I had it like the movie Lucas. That's starring Corey Haim, but Corey Feldman was considered for the main part. And Lucas is also the movie where Corey Feldman claims that Charlie Sheen sexually assaulted Corey Haim. And it was like where everything went bad.
Yeah, I had Lucas as well. But because of the football, not because of the rape. Alleged rape.
Alleged rape. And what Corey Feldman's expose called The Rape of Two Coreys?
I didn't know that existed.
Yep.
Alrighty.
So yeah, Lucas, which I remember watching. I've actually seen Lucas, oddly enough, because I remember there was like that, where you'd have like a week where you'd have Showtime back in the day. I remember we had Showtime, and they chose that week to show Lucas 3 times a day, so they wore me down into fine. I'll fucking watch Lucas. It's all they're showing.
Well, you're like, oh, sweet, an Earthbound movie. It's fucking got Mother 3 in this. PK field goal.
PK. I think they even referenced Lucas in like that not another teen movie where like
that scene where
they rip his head off.
He's getting raped.
Yeah, where the Corys get raped.
Yeah, that I forgot about that scene. You'd think I wouldn't forget about that scene in not another teen movie, but I did.
That was one of the ones that I actually liked of those really weird spoof movies that were popular for a minute. That Scary Movie, brought to the main focus.
Yeah, I remember seeing Scary Movie in the theater.
Oh yeah,
and I remember seeing Scary Movie 2 in the theater. That's the Scary Movie 2. Is that the one that opens up with like a bunch of jizz? Is that right? Or is that 3?
Or does
one of them open up with a bunch of jizz?
Oh, but I remember one closed with a bunch of jizz.
Yeah, where she gets like shot up into the ceiling or something.
Oh, I thought it opened that way. It closed.
No, that was like the final scene. It was the play on the Sydney being reluctant to have sex in Scream. She was doing that, and then she sleeps with the guy, and he like jizzes and shoots her up into the ceiling.
Oh, I thought this was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting my movies mixed up, and then because I thought this was like in a movie theater or something. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember that one too.
Because it's 2 where, grab my strong hand.
That is 2. Yeah,
is that 2?
Yes.
Probably.
I think it
Chris
is.
Elliott.
Yeah.
We need to rewatch these.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since. There's like 5 of them.
Yeah, eventually Lindsay Lohan's in them. So
yeah.
Well, let's see where did this game go right and where did it go wrong? I guess we kind of talked about that with the departure from the bright, fun simplicity of 1 into 2 and 3.
Yeah. I just think overall for the 3, I think where it went right was that I just thought it was easy to understand. It was fun to play. I mean, the first game I played, I ran a kickoff across the field for a touchdown, and I was like, okay, this is fun.
Yep.
Right. And it's totally like, that's what I think. I think that's where this game, like these games shine, because it's like, I've got in my notes here for good things. This is an exciting football game.
Yeah.
Because like exciting things are always happening, where I feel like Madden, those games do focus more on the simulation, while this to me feels more arcadey, because it's like there are so many fumbles, so many interceptions.
Yes.
The game moves very quickly. And then they've got all these like animated cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah.
When something like happened, like when there's an interception, like there will be it'll go to this cutscene of like the interception happening, and it's all the very like comic book style almost, like it's illustrated. Maybe that's what they were going with the covers. I don't know, but I thought that was really neat. And it's like, yeah, like especially in the second game, there was something wrong with the AI.
Yeah.
Or I was like, I felt like when I played the second game and I was running the ball, I could read the Matrix, because it's like, it was so like easy to see, like the AI was like making tunnels for you to run through.
Yeah.
So it was like the game was programmed where it's like, always give the runner an option.
Well, in the first and the third one, I thought the AI was great because, I could open up a game just whipping its ass, and then it it would
Right.
step up and start, coming back at me. And then, like you said, there'd be an interception or a fumble. And I mean, I can remember when I'm playing and I would my quarterback would throw the ball and it would say interception. I'm like, I'm like really into it. Like, oh, now I got to switch to defense. It was fun. It was fun like that. And I think they got the AI right, at least on the first and the third game, in that regard.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, it was, I probably spent a total of 6 hours playing these games and, I enjoyed it. I played like a preseason game for each one. And then I played a season game just to see like the big difference. And it's like in a season, you can do a season in coach mode. Like that's an option where it's like, you can set it up where you just choose the plays and you don't do any inputs for, executing those plays. I think that's a pretty neat. I mean, I know that's pretty common now, but I don't know I like this. I think they really tried to do something cool with an older style football game.
Yeah, for sure.
Where did it lose you?
I don't know. I don't want to say that it ever really lost me, other than some of the jarring differences in the second one. Whereas there's the graphics, and now there's this new playbook thing, and there's so I mean those are a little bit off-putting for me, but all around, I've always just had a real respect for the Tecmo franchise in this sense, and the way I think they do it right. I've never been a big fan of the Madden games. I feel like those are too technical. They're first person, whatever. So I mean, I think where they just tried to overreach a little in the second one, but the fact that they reeled it back in the third one and kind of got their shit together and said, this is the last one we're doing. Let's make sure we do it right. And I think they succeeded at that. So I can't really say for me that it ever lost its way, aside from those little foibles that I had.
Yeah, same here. It didn't really ever lose me. The only criticism I have for it is that it does. I can see, like, by the time the third game came out in 1995, this must have felt very stale for certain demographics. Like, I mean, especially considering the fact that Madden is out and is beaten ass. So I can see, like, going up against a Madden, I could see why this kind of lost its way. But I really enjoyed it, and I think it's also interesting that, like, they also I think it was in '96 they released this. They released Tecmo Super Bowl on PlayStation, with the current roster of that time. So I mean, I think they were still trying it. But by that point, I mean, come on. Like, when I saw the gameplay of Tecmo Super Bowl on the PlayStation, it was like, y'all, I can tell this game came out in 1987. Like, this is, you haven't changed anything. So I don't know. Several console generations later, it's like, I don't know. At some point, it loses its charm, and it just seems lazy.
Well, where would you put this on the TADPOG list of Super Nintendo games? A top 100 game, bottom 100, somewhere in the middle?
I think for me, it would be either 1 or 3 could be in the top 100 and replace any other football game that we may have put there prior to this episode. Again, just because I thought it was fun, simple, and exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah, they're all in the middle for me. They're all somewhere in the middle, but the first one is closer to the top 100 than the rest of them. I liked it, but I mean, I didn't top 100 like it.
Yeah, I don't know what, really at this point, I don't know what a good football game is and a bad football game is. This didn't seem, outside of the menuing, didn't seem bad. So I guess in the middle, and I won't know a bad football game unless there's like a Street Football 95 that we're going to get to at some point in time.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Did you guys have any achievements?
Oh, I have a bunch.
Nice.
Hit me, Daddy.
Because I based all of my achievements also on Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
All righty then.
Okay, my first achievement, Laces Out. And to get Laces Out, repeatedly fuck up the field goal attempt, causing a turnover and a touchdown, or at least a long run back for the other team. I did that 3 times. Like, I don't know why, if my buttons weren't working, but the little arrow would go, like you would go to kick it, and I would push the wrong button or something, and the other team would just run up, take the ball, and run off with it. So, yeah, that was never fun. My second achievement is, I gotta go, guys. I got a date with your mothers. And to get that one, you run at least 2 kickoff returns into the end zone in one game, which I did, which was exciting and fun.
I need to. It's sorry to interrupt you, but it's very tough when we're recording remote. I'd interrupt you anyway. You know me, but I haven't seen Ace Ventura in a long time. What part of the movie is that?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. It's not just me.
I remember the quote, but for some reason I need to watch it so I can find it because I can't remember where it was, but I know it's in there somewhere.
All right, we got to watch the scary movies and then the Ace Venturas.
Okay, my next one. That was a close one, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, in every contest, there must be a loser. Who is her? And to get that one, you win a game in overtime. Next is Spank You Helpy Helperton. To get that
I like it when you say it better than when he says it.
Watch the other team score a touchdown because the AI couldn't catch up with the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And then my final one is, excuse me, sir, but do you have a mint? Perhaps some Banaka? And to get that one, you go head-to-head with another player and struggle for 5 seconds trying to knock him down.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. Because it's like, you can actively like push off defenders like when you've got the ball, right? So it's like if they get close to you, you can just tap A and you kind of like you kind of bounce them off. Like, it is wild though sometimes how many people it takes to take somebody down.
And you can lock up with somebody for a minute. It's like, what?
A long time.
Working?
Yeah. Right. I gotta wait for a second guy to get here to take this dude down.
That's all I had.
That's all you got? Okay. See, my first one is pull a Tyler Dunnigan. And that is where you lose to the Dolphins with Dan Marino as quarterback.
Also relevant to Ace Ventura.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the first time we ever had to censor something from TADPOG whenever Tyler mentioned something about Dan Marino specifically.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. That's Tyler Dunnigan of what game fame? I can't remember what he was on. It's been a long time ago.
Yeah, it was all really long. I think he's been on 2 games, but yeah, it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Looks like maybe Mario Party is one of them.
I think Mario Party is one of them. I think you're right. A football game and Mario Party.
Okay.
And then my second one is he isn't in it. And you unlock that by playing as the Raiders and then lose because you realize you can't be LL Cool J.
Oh.
And then my last one being, is this when the Cowboys were good? You win 3 games as the Cowboys.
It is, actually.
All right. Well, there we go.
The early 90s.
That explains why they had the Cowboys all over these motherfuckers.
The Steelers were like the big team in the 70s and like early to mid 80s, and then the Cowboys started being kind of a real big and the Bears were the big one in like the mid 80s to the early 90s, and then the Cowboys started taking off and being real popular again in the 90s.
Tyler Dunnigan was on Madden NFL 94.
Yep. Okay. There we go. That was with expletive Dan Marino.
Right. I have 3 Chivos.
Yeah.
I have No Mo Bo. In order to unlock No Mo Bo, you have a player rush 222 yards in a single game, beating Bo Jackson's record by 1 yard. And then I've got my second achievement is 42 Blast on 2. In order to unlock 42 Blast on 2, be down by 3 touchdowns, and then go on to win the game by scoring 4 touchdowns in a single game. And then my last achievement is Cramerican Football League. In order to unlock Cramerican Football League, use the player creator in Super Tecmo Bowl 3 to build an entire team out of the roster of characters from Seinfeld. And I wanted to include that as an achievement because there is a character creator in Tecmo Super Bowl 3. And it is pretty fucking bonkers considering that it is for a Super Nintendo game.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
I made a quarterback named Big McLarge Huge, and you can pump points. It's like you get a pool of points that you can put into like passing accuracy, into like running, into awareness and stuff like that. But like, it's not limited to just the quarterback. You can like, I don't know if it's for every position because I don't know all of the positions in football, but it's a lot of them. Like you could essentially, it looked like to me, make your own damn team and name them and give them numbers. Of course, I made Big McLarge Huge number 69. It's pretty, I was impressed. Like I thought that was really, really neat. I didn't know what I was doing, so he sucked. But like, because I put everything into like, I don't know, passing accuracy, and then like he just kept getting sacked over and over again. So it's like, caution, if you don't know what you're doing, it might end disastrously.
You got to increase his sack size.
That's right. Yeah, he's got to have a big old tanuki.
Well, does Flopsy have anything to say? We don't even have Flopsy. Flopsy's in the garage, isn't it?
Flopsy's at your house. You can go get Flopsy if you want to, but Flopsy probably says this is an okay game.
That's what I would imagine. I would say they're common, each with 2.5 stars.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably, we're probably in the 2.5 to maybe 3.5 range. One of these might have peaked up to 3.5, potentially 3. Is this a rent or a buy for you guys? Or rent or a buy?
I think for me personally, I probably would have only rented if I went to the game store and all they had was football games, I would rent it. You know, I was never big on having sports games on my Super Nintendo. And I wasn't a kid when the Super Nintendo was out. So, you know, but I also wasn't into football until, you know, sometime after that. So really, I'd say probably rent, but I think there'd be a lot of people who would consider one of these a buy, maybe all 3. If you're a fan, you know.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I imagine I would want to rent a more bombastic, you know, not accurate at all football game if I were to even rent a football game. So I don't neither. Maybe
pass. Yeah. I think I'd probably buy one of them, and just if I wanted to play, if I was in the mood to play that style of a football game, I'd probably buy the first one.
I think that would be the one I would buy too.
But then again, honestly, if I was in the mood to play it, now that I'm thinking about it, I might just fire up the NES instead.
Right.
And ban Bo Jackson. How much do you think these games go for? I have prices for each. We can start. We can just do one, let's just do one. How much do you think the one that the randomizer gave us, Tecmo Super Bowl 2, goes for loose on average?
I'm going to say $12.
$12.
I'm going to go high on this one. I'm going to go high on all three of them, I think. But I think this one might be more like in the, I'd say $29.
Wow. Okay. Actual retail value of Tecmo Super Bowl 2 loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com at the time of this recording, is $119.99.
Holy shit.
Holy shit is correct, my friend. Holy shit is correct.
This does not surprise me because I think the Tecmo franchise was very popular. I think that they were well liked games, but maybe they were all rented. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I honestly don't know what the case is. I'm not gonna have you guys guess on the price of 1 and 3. I'll tell you what those are because they are so much lower. 3 is $23.83 and 1 is $16.33.
See,
still pretty high for football games.
I was gonna guess
that's pretty high.
Yeah, I was gonna guess 8 for 1 and 18 for 3. So
see, I would have thought that those would have been. Maybe it's just there were more of them, and that 2 just didn't get a lot of love for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. So, I mean, obviously, I looked up. I was like, I have some of these, don't I? In my collection, I do. I have 1 and 3. So, of course, I don't have 2. But yeah, like looking back at even like in 2008. It went loose one time. It spiked up to $121. But like in 2007, it was $21, which is like, that's way before the prices started increasing. So it seems like this has always kind of been an expensive game. It makes me wonder how rare it is, what the publication and distribution was like.
Well, I'd be stroking my chin right now if we were all face to face.
Of course I could sense that. Of course I could. You didn't have to say it. I knew you were doing it.
I thought so.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're so in tune with one another.
I could sense you were sensing
Tyler,
it, so yeah.
You could sense it. I was sensing it. Right. Tyler, if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
I would give it the shadowy no beard, because everyone is a standard plain face white guy that just has a shaven white face with a little bit of shadow over it, so you can't really tell who they are. So okay. Shadowy white man, no beard.
That's my new Steam name. Just kidding. Massive Dad Shits is here to stay. It was so much fun hopping into random Turtles games this weekend as Massive Dad Shits. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
If you were to give this game a pair of glasses that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would have to give it the super shadowy darkness visor that doesn't allow you to see in anybody's football helmet, so you only see the bottom of their faces. So they're all very well disguised. So shadowy darkness visor.
Perfect.
Well, that wraps up our game talk. Because I know normally we would go into community corner now, but as we've been doing so many Scott Pilgrim games, we didn't really have any quizzes, so I wrote one up for us.
Do you
more
want
specifically
to,
for you and Ian?
Okay,
I'm all for that. My body is ready. I'm willing. Do you want to randomly select the next game that we will be talking about on the show?
Yes. I think that is a fine idea.
I don't know when we're actually going to do that. We need to, after this is done recording, we need to hash that out.
Yep. Well, I don't. Let's see. What do I have in here? I've got a broom. So I'm going to pull out this broom, sweep myself a little clean circle, and put my head on the broom, and then turn around on it Wild and Crazy Kid style. So my no-no hole is pointing in a random direction. And I will say the prayer we all love to say. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Everyone's going to love that.
Oh, God.
You got to call stop.
I did. Stop. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop.
It's hard. It's hard doing it this way.
It is hard.
279. Would you like to guess what it is? You already know what it is. We already did this.
Oh, damn.
I
We're
think
just
it's
doing this
in
for the sake of you, the listener.
I think it's in the K's.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty good. That's a good guess. It is King of Dragons. King of Dragons. The Capcom beat 'em up.
Man, I only vaguely remember that. I had to think really hard and access some deep memories.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because it came out at the same time. Like Capcom put out 2 like fantasy beat 'em ups in the same year. So it's like, why did you do that? It's impossible to tell these games apart like forever now.
Yep.
We'll get to that though.
I'm going to pick my broom back up, put my head back on it, and say the prayer we all love to say. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop.
279. I don't know why we did that again. King of Dragons.
Well, shit. Did you really roll the same thing twice in a row?
Were you re-rolling?
We haven't done King of Dragons before.
Oh, I thought you said we have done King of Dragons. Okay. I misunderstood what you were saying because I thought you said the other thing. I was thinking of the other game. It's just
Right.
like it. Okay. Well, good. King of Dragons. My bad.
No, it's all good. Knights of the Round is the other one, and we have done Knights of the Round.
Okay. All right. Well, perfect. Do we want to take a little break before we get to our own inner community corner?
Yeah, I need to prepare for this quiz and get a couple beers.
Okay. Good deal.
So I figured out where the confusion came in, because I did say, I don't know why we're doing this because we've already done this. And what I was not referring to the game, I was referring to the fact that I was having a very inclusive moment with the audience and letting them know in a horrible way of communicating this that we had already determined that we were doing 279 King of Dragons before this recording.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I would say, that we'd already done this. Normally, we don't know until we record, but because of like the whole COVID stuff and not knowing when we're going to record next and what we're going to record next, we did it early. In case it was a super long game. Fortunately, it's not.
All right, so you guys ready to take a quiz, a jumbo quiz?
Yes.
Well, Dave, I know your gaming preferences. Like, I feel like I could make a good gaming quiz for Dave.
Thank you.
Ian, I don't know your gaming history nearly as well. I know you like first-person shooters and, the competition-style shooters, but outside of that, I don't know. So I feel like I would make too imbalanced of a quiz. But one thing I do know that you're both invested in is the Scott Pilgrim game. So,
oh boy, this is going to be embarrassing. Okay.
so I have for you.
The Scott Pilgrim game where I was like, that's my mom, right? That one?
That one, yeah.
Okay. All right. It's going great.
So I have a jumbo 16 question quiz with a super bonus.
Okay.
And of course, this is metagame accepted. It's what Ian and Dave know. So it's not like, well, Lim wouldn't know that, so I don't know now. Whatever you guys know. So let's begin.
So this is specifically about the game that you're running.
That I'm currently running.
Okay.
So number 1, where did the band play their first official gig?
Moss Rose.
Moss Rose Cafe is correct.
Okay, so that counts as an official gig. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that was an official gig.
Hey, man, as long as we got it right, I don't care.
Number 2, what kind of beer does Link offer out of his cooler?
I think was it like a Guinness?
I'm going to say it was Miller Lite.
God. I remember having the conversation about whether Guinness was vegan or not, but Miller Lite seems more appropriate.
Because you found Guinness in Jazzadrune.
Oh, that's right.
So the two I have down are Bud Heavy and Coors.
Oh, yeah. That's even more appropriate, actually.
Where does Chandra Knitshit work?
In Louisville.
It's
In Louisville, yes. What is the name of the boutique in Louisville?
Fuck. It was some Expectant Mothers thing. I can't remember the name of it. Oh.
Right.
You are on the right track.
Fuck.
And of course, with the super bonus, you will be able to make up quite a few points.
I cannot recall
Okay.
the name.
You're getting there.
Mommy something. I don't.
Oh,
Big
You're
Mommy
close.
Milkers?
Oh.
Final answer.
she works at Mama's Hip.
Oh.
Mama's Hip. Number 4.
Mama's Hip.
What is Benji's favorite food?
Cheerios.
What'd you say? Canonically his favorite non-vegan
Oh,
food.
it's that chicken that
The duck.
the duck.
It's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, pressed duck is correct.
But I mean, really, it's Cheerios. Come on. If
Really, it's
going to
be at this point. It's going to be Cheerios.
Change that shit.
Name 2 of the 3 of Liz's aunties.
Oh boy.
This is on you, Dave.
Esmeralda.
I can't remember.
Esmeralda is 1.
Next one's Ian's.
Oh, fuck.
I got one. I got mine.
Tatiana? No. I thought they were the names of some other character from a game or something.
Yeah, that is not the one I thought you would name, Dave.
Well, I know why I should know one of the other ones, but I don't remember it. So we're both just gonna have to accept that.
Yeah.
So the 3 are named Esmeralda, Audrina, and Nadia.
Nadia.
Never would have gotten there.
Yeah.
What did Lim and Kenny summon when they first met in subspace?
A bear.
Mario Karts.
Mario Karts is
Karts.
correct. What is Liz's real name?
Damn.
That's a hard one. It has only been said once.
And I remember it being said. Oh man, is it like?
Is it Liz Lemon Frog?
Liz
Liz Onion Frog?
Thank you. That's it.
Is it like Talia?
You're very close.
Shit.
Oh wow.
So I'm stuck on that. I can't come up with something.
You did better than me. I couldn't even go there.
Talitha?
I have no idea.
You are a syllable off.
With which one? Talia?
You know what? The second one you just said, I'll take it. You're close enough. That's a very hard one. Talitha.
Talitha.
Number 8. What is the name of the accounting firm Benji works for?
Barnes and Noble.
Very close.
Barnes and Sons.
Still very close.
Barnes and
The Barnes
boys.
The Barnes family firm. The Barnes Burners.
That's what it should have been.
Barnes Stormers.
Close enough. Barnes and Barnes.
Okay.
Barnes and Barnes.
Barnes and Barnes and Son.
Spaghetti.
What restaurant is advertised on London's vegan suppressing ring?
What? I don't remember this at all. There's a restaurant that's advertised on his ring.
London's ring says the name of a restaurant.
Is it
Arby's?
Skinheads?
Nope.
I don't remember this at all. I remember his ring. I think I was just probably more horrified to
I want a hint. I want to ask a question for a hint.
Okay, sure.
Phone a friend.
Is it a real restaurant in Paducah?
It is a real restaurant, but it is not in Paducah.
Oh.
It is famous and in Las Vegas, and several people have died there.
And I didn't go there? That sounds like someplace that I would go.
Emerald.
Nope. You eat there for free if you weigh over 350 pounds. It is the least vegan restaurant I could think of.
I have no idea. This probably, I don't remember this at all. I'm not doubting it. It's just some crazy shit was happening when this is going on.
In-N-Out Burger.
Nope.
Shit. I can't remember.
I have no idea.
The
Burger King.
The Heart Attack Grill.
The Heart Attack Grill.
Multiple people have died of heart attacks eating at the Heart Attack Grill.
Oh man,
Their food is so fatty and calorically filled, and they encourage you to come since you eat for free if you're over 350 pounds. All the nurses, all the servers dress as nurses.
Are they making money on the back end to like insurance companies or something, or like funeral directors? Like
maybe like because it's a super controversial restaurant, but the guy like intentionally like that is his ethos is to make it as controversial and backwards as possible.
Who is the demon lord of gluttony?
Oh,
because
shit.
whoever that demon is, it's that man.
It's that dude. When he comes in, he dresses as a doctor when he's there in the restaurant.
Weird.
Yep.
According to Google, it's Beelzebub.
Okay, that'll work. Beelzebub.
But like I said, that's just according to Google.
I remember seeing an interview with the guy. He looks like Satan from what is with Keanu Reeves as the
Devil's Advocate?
Nope. He's the Marvel guy.
Daredevil?
Nope. God, why can't I think of it? I keep wanting to say Carpenter, but that's not it at all.
And Keanu Reeves is in this movie?
He's the star, yeah. He wants to do a sequel.
Wait, now start over. Which is I lost you there for a minute. Start over.
So I'm trying to think. The guy who owns the Heart Attack Grill looks like Lucifer in this movie with Keanu Reeves.
Are you thinking of Constantine?
Constantine. Thank you. Yes,
okay.
Constantine.
That movie is awesome.
It is awesome.
I love that movie.
I wish it hadn't tanked, and I love that in an interview they asked him if he could do any movie right now, what would he do? And he said a sequel to Constantine.
Yeah, and I mean, that was one of the early comic book movies. That Constantine was a DC comic. Or was it Marvel? I think it was DC.
I think it was DC, yeah.
It was. But, yeah, that was a great movie, and I would love a sequel to that.
Oh, yeah, man, it was so fucking good.
The guy that played Lucifer in that movie has been in every movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure Constantine started as a DC. I could be wrong, but I think it might have been like
maybe movie
like
then
Dark
comic
Horse or something, and then it was bought by DC or something like that.
Okay. That tracks. I mean, Constantine feels more Dark Horse to me than DC.
I could be wrong. Maybe it was just straight up DC, but I don't know.
We could do the research, but meh.
Yeah, according to...
I just did it. It was DC.
Yep. He's a supernatural advisor and ally to Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
All right, number 10. What was London canning when disguised as Liz's mother?
Peaches. Apricots.
Oh, God. It was
Sweet meats.
Oh man, I know this one. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. I thought I had. Look, man, I thought I had it. I gave my 3 guesses, but no, I think if it was right, Tyler would have been like peaches. So I think it's wrong.
They come in a can.
Right. They were put there by a man in a factory downtown.
I just seem to remember referring to it later, like, oh, look, we've got all this laying around. Like, before she gathered up the ingredients to go summon her aunts, there was some mention of her getting a couple of jars of whatever the fuck it was. Shit.
Peach's final answer?
I mean, I feel like it's wrong, but I mean, it's my final answer because I've given up because I'm not going to come up with anything else. So it's up to Ian.
Beets.
Closer with beets. It is tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
What is Link's order from Quiznos?
The first order before we go to Jazzadroom.
I have no idea, man.
Yep, he's ordered it twice now.
Shit.
I don't know. PLT.
Italian.
It's the Chicken Bacon Ranch.
Chicken Bacon Ranch.
Who else works with Jill at Quiznos?
Mike?
Mike is correct.
Hey.
What game was everyone playing at KC's when Jill's glow super triggered?
Cornhole.
Cornhole is correct. What porn star did Kenny recognize from the tapes in Jazzadroon?
Shit.
I don't remember. Was it Chasey Lane?
No, it wouldn't have been Chasey Lane. Shit, I'm trying to think. I know this one too.
Jenna Jameson.
Try Jenna.
Brianna Banks.
Try Jenna Jameson.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't remember. So that's as good as any.
Jenna Jameson was who you expected to see, but you recognized Sylvia Saint.
Sylvia Saint.
Ramon Crescent Moon is the head of what managerial organization?
Oh, it's like the league of
Jeez.
it's the league of
Right.
asshole managers or something. Fuck. League of asshole managers.
You're pretty close. The Menagerie of Menacing Managers. What is the maiden name of Aurora and Amelia?
I feel like we should know this, Ian.
I feel like I came up with this and now I don't remember it.
I only said it once.
Did I come up with this, or did you?
You did not. I did.
Okay. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Pass.
St. Clair.
St. Clair. I remember
So
that now that you said
the
that.
super bonus worth 1 point
Oh,
each.
shit. Oh, fuck.
How many of the band names can you name?
Well, Millennium Falco.
Hot Pink, Alban Barkley. Yeah.
There we
Millennium
go.
Falco.
There's the first two. Point.
Liz Lemunion Frog.
Liz Lemunion Frog.
Liz Lemunion Frog.
Number four, Arby's Gabagool.
Yes.
Right?
There you go.
Okay. P3.
P3, correct.
How many were there? We're at 5 now.
There are 10 band names.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. Wow. Holy God.
Wasn't one like Sweet something Sweet D and the Cake Boys or something?
Yeah. Double D, right? Double D and the Cake Boys.
Correct. That is
All
the
right.
current band name.
And then what was the fucking Charlotte's Web one? What was the fucking Charlotte's Web one?
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God, I remember doing that art, but I can't remember. Oh, the Pig Holes.
The Pig Holes is correct.
Yes. All right. That's 7. So we have 3 more. Oh my God.
Oh, I've got one.
Good.
Shit. Oh man, I know it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. It was something like no comment or the awkward silence. Awkward silence.
Awkward silence is correct.
Nice. Way to go.
I feel like that was probably the hardest one.
We have 2 more.
3 more.
What? I
Should
thought
be
we
up
had
to
8.
7. No, we're at 7.
Oh.
No, he's right. We're at 8. Which ones have we gotten right, Tyler?
Millennium, in order of appearance, Millennium Falco, Hot Pink Alban Barkley, Awkward Silence, The Pig Holes, then we skip the 3 you're missing, and then Liz Lemunion Frog, number 4, the Arby's Gabagool, P3, and Double D and the Cake Boys.
That is 8.
Yeah, that's 8.
Well, then maybe, did I miscount? Then maybe there are 11 then, and I'm miscounting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I miscounted. Yes, there are 11.
Okay.
Okay, so it was between the ones between. So we're missing 3 in a row?
3 in a row between Pig Holes and Liz Lemunion Frog.
So those would have taken place in Jazzadrone.
Okay, I like how you're going to logic through this. That's good.
What did we come up with while we were in Jazzadrone? I know Pig Holes, obviously.
Fuck if I know. Yeah, Pig Holes. Oh, man.
Shit. I don't want to get these wrong.
What were you when you beat Scandinavian Man?
Triangle Man? I don't know. This is going to be really tough.
Jazzadroon. I'm just stuck
Can
in
we get some hints?
Jazzadroon.
See, the first one you're missing is named for a magic item. The second one is named for a monster you defeated. And the third one was a reference by Link.
Okay.
Oh.
The monster defeated. Can you smell what the Grek is cooking?
You're close. You're very close.
Oh,
No,
what
it
is
was
it?
it was grill. Can you grill what the rock is cooking?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Nice.
I was gonna say, can you mimic what the rock is cooking, but that didn't work.
That's funny. You said monster, and I could visualize the art in my mind, and that's okay. And then the magic item one, that one, goodness.
Something. It's mayonnaise.
Oh.
It's something with mayonnaise.
A fistful of mayonnaise.
Yes.
A fistful of mayonnaise is correct.
Because the magic item was my thing. I forgot about that.
Yep.
The jug.
So, all right.
So
one
the
fixer
more
is canning mayonnaise. The one left is something that Link said.
Yes.
That could be anything. Jesus.
And that is what is your name when you beat Scandinavian Man in Louisville?
See, I thought we were the rock one when we beat Scandinavian Man. Because the problem with saying it was something Link said is because he's the one that's always calling us and telling us that our band name sucks and we need to change it.
When you got out of Jazzadroon and found him, it's something he said then.
I mean, like, what the fuck? No, I mean...
Because Miller was laughing because he said, well, you rode with me.
Oh, shit. It's,
Too drunk to drive my car?
That's
Too drunk to drive my car is correct.
We did it.
Okay, all right. Kinda.
Sort of.
Kinda.
I mean, with lots of hints, but we did it.
Yeah, we had to turn the accessibility options on.
Hey, you only had to get a hint for 3. That's pretty good. 3 for 11. You had to have everything else you got.
So what did we win?
So let's see, that's 11.
We're all level 10 now?
12, 13.
Still not as high as Benji.
14, 15, 16, 17. You overscored. You got a score of 18 on this 16-question quiz with a super bonus.
Nice.
Some of those were really, really difficult questions.
They were.
Very, very detailed, yeah.
Well, thank you for taking my Scott Pilgrim game quiz.
Well, thanks for writing it.
You're welcome. Thanks for writing it.
So we'll do it again after we get 20 band names.
All right, but it should be easier. We have 11.
Well, do you guys have anything else we want to do?
No, I don't think so.
That's it.
That's
right?
pretty good. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, not SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, Amazon, all over the place. So you missed the next episode. We should be doing the next part of Scott Pilgrim if we can work that out. Otherwise, we'll be doing King of Dragons for the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you want to mail us something? So whenever we do one of those episodes, we'll have it to open. You send it to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky, 42002. Or if you want to call us, that's 270-883-2555. And if you leave us a review, hey, iTunes is still there. That's an option. That helps. But most importantly, there's that Patreon. I pull that up. Ian, do you have a list of Patreon people to read?
I do. I have a list of our wonderful executive producers, which is not to say that all of our donors aren't super important. Every little bit counts. We're grateful for everything that you guys have sent to us, as always. And these fine folks donate $20 or more per month to our artisanal, handcrafted podcasts, and I'm going to read you those names now. You are legally required to listen to all of them. I'm going to start with Cousin David Galino, Temporal Eternal Savior, Cubicle Monkey, Plinko Nick Price, Executive Producer Dig Duggy, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, Bantha Master, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, aka Gentle G, congratulations on your marriage, Usurper Grim, Princess Banana Hammock, Flavatrick, Taryn Landon, Pinball Archmage Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Platinum member Brett Miller, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Nate from Utah, first time caller, and Sick Jake. Brother, we're sorry you fell for the marketing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. It means a lot, for sure.
Yeah, it looks like June has been kind of a gutting. I know that times are super tough, so for everybody who is in there doing anything, we deeply appreciate it. So thank you very much to everyone pledging.
Yeah,
it's incredibly appreciated.
And we also get it. If you had to stop donating, if you had to back off, it's okay. Gas is super expensive. You gotta.
Oh my God.
Food is super expensive. I get it. We understand. We're all suffering through the same thing. So no judgment there. You just do what you can, and we're very appreciative for just you listening to the show. We love to do it, and we're glad you enjoy it.
Our theme song for this is Moose by Sycamore Drive. Look at that track in the shorts at tadpog.com. Hey guys, want to close it out?
As someone who wishes they were Bo Jackson.
Okay. That sounds good. So until next time.
Tropical
Capricorn. My legs are so strong, my muscle tore straight off from my bone.
I thought you were gonna rap, man.
My muscle's so strong.
My muscle's so strong.
You know, Tyler's Bo Jackson rap that he does.
Yeah.
It's famous Bo Jackson.
He's been practicing since middle school.
We're all good now?
I think so. Did everybody clap? I didn't hear any clap.
I clapped.
I only heard my clap.
Me too.
So I assume we all clapped.
We must be all perfectly synced up.
So perfectly.
Just like last time.